So multiplying and dividing fractions. So in this lesson, we are going to learn how to multiply two fractions and then also how to divide two fractions. Okay. So first is multiplying. To multiply two fractions, we always multiply the numerators and then you multiply the denominators. Okay. So if you have A over B times C over D, and you multiply the numerators, so it's A times C, and you multiply the denominators B times D, and then whatever you get as a fraction, you always have to reduce it. Okay, so let's say if you have 2 over 5 and then you have 3 over 8. So when you multiply, you get 2 times 3 and then you have 5 times 8, which turns into 6 over 40, and then you have to reduce it, right? So 6 over 40, if you want to reduce it, you divide by the greatest common factor between them, which is 2. So when you divide, your answer comes out to be 3 over 20. So basically dividing means, when you're dividing by 2, basically that means reducing the fraction. So let's say we do this with the mixed numbers. So we have 5 1/2 times 3/4. So 5 1/2 turns into 11 over 2, right? Because 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1, with 11 over 2 times 3 over 4 from the question. So now again we multiply the numerators, so 11 times 3, and then denominator is 2 times 4. That turns into 33 over 8, right? And then because they gave the question in a mixed number kind of look, we're going to give the answer also in the mixed kind of look. So it's going to be 4 1/8. Okay. Now to divide two fractions, we multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second. So if you have A over B divided by C over D, then you do A over B and you do times it by D over C. And then same thing, you always have to reduce. So let's say our example here, if you have 3 over 7 and you're dividing it by 5 over 6, right? So now as I said, you can reciprocate. So 3 over 7 times 6 over 5. And that will turn into 18 over 35. And we always try to reduce it, but if it doesn't work, then we just leave it like that. Same thing with the mixed number. So you have 8, and then you are dividing it by 2 1/3. So 2 1/3 turn into what? 2 times 3, 6 plus 1, 7 over 3. Now as I said, dividing, which you flipped over, is going to be 3 over 7, right? So if you have 8 times 3 over 7, that turns into 8 times 3 divided by 7, which also, again, it turns into 24 over 7 because you're multiplying the numerators, and then 24 over 7. You remember, as I said, if the question is given to you as a mixed fraction, the answer also has to be a mixed fraction.